Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I shall not take too much time. At the outset, I would like to pay tribute to the doctors and paramedic nurses who saved many lives during the fight against the COVID. I have highest admiration for the doctors, paramedics, and the nurses. There is no nobler profession than the doctors who save lives, who restore sight. The cardiologists, the ophthalmologists, the surgeons, the psychiatrists who give peace to the children or the people who go under depression. So I have the highest regard for the medical profession, and I salute the doctors and the nurses who saved lives when the COVID war. In the beginning, people know very little about the COVID. Nobody want to go near the patient, but the doctors, they were mentally prepared, maybe even at the risk of their life. They saved many lives. That is why I salute to them in the beginning. Today, health department is one of the most essential services, and healthcare is, without healthcare, we cannot live a happy life. I would like to recall some achievement of the medical department. In 2012, I happened to be Principal Secretary Health for a short period. Before me was Mr. Vumlumang. He was the Commissioner Health. In 2012, Manipur got the best state rated by the India Today group. We were awarded a prize in Hotel Hyatt, and I, together with my Honorable Minister, Mr. Phongsathang Tonsing, we received the award. It was an award given to us for achieving the best in the IMR, infant mortality rate. In 2012, the national rate was 46, while in Manipur it was just 10. We have infant mortality rate of just 10 per 1,000 bird. So today we are fortunate to have a medical minister in the person of Dr. S. Ranjan Singh, who is, I think, the right person at the right time. He is very positive, and he brought, I think, a kind of fresh air, whips of fresh air in the house, and I have lots of regard for him. We expect great things under him. Having said all this, I would like to place a general observation regarding my assembly constituency. I have already have a series of discussion with the Honorable Minister regarding the acute shortage of doctors and nurses in Ukhrul. I must acknowledge that the new minister, as soon as he took over, he transferred and posted 9 doctors and 6 nurses. Unfortunately, till today, they have not joined. So I would like to remind the Honorable Minister to ensure that they join without further loss of time, because the Ukhrul District Hospital is now heavily understaffed, and there are even primary health centers where there are no doctors at all. For example, primary health center of Lampui, there is not a single doctor. Lampui is located on National Highway 202, and it catered to a large number of population, but there are no doctors. And there is one more primary health center, Khangkhui. There is only one doctor. Singhai, only one doctor. Tenem, there is no doctor. And as I mentioned, Lampui also, there is not a single doctor. Now, these are some of the difficulties, challenges we face. And Ukhrul District Hospital, I make it as far as possible. I normally visit once or twice a month to the hospital, and I can see that the staff available there, they are really overworked because they are heavily understaffed. And also the hospital, I must say something about the challenges in terms of physical infrastructure. Maybe they have about 8-9 doctors, but they have only 1/4 of type 4. So even infrastructure also, there is so much lacking behind, and it is a vicious circle actually. When the doctors are posted there, they have nowhere to stay because there are no building, and people suffer. So my humble suggestion to the Honorable Minister is that we must have a holistic approach. Let us provide them at least type 5 quarter. Because there is a very strange, the construction, the design in the PWD, type 4 quarter means only one toilet. The family, the guests, the servant, the cook, the driver, everybody share one toilet. Type 5 means 2 toilets. So the doctors must be entitled at least type 5 quarter. But there is not a single type 5, just one type 4 quarter. How 9 or 10 doctors are to share that single quarter? And also, how about the paramedics, nurses? Without paramedic nurses, doctors are handicapped. They should also be provided proper accommodation. And also, regarding the district hospital, it is 50-bedded 2 buildings adjacent to each other. But there is no connecting door between the 2 buildings. So I have suggested to the Honorable Minister, these 2 buildings, which is very close to each other, should have a connecting door by way of a sky bridge. Because after the post-operation, how will the doctor take the patient to the next building? There is no lift. When they come down on the ground floor with a stretcher, the whole place is full of boulders, mud and slush. So it has to be paved. Either they make landscaping by making interlocking block or blacktopping or rigid pavement, or still better, they must have a connecting door, that is sky bridge. This I would like to place before the Honorable Minister. Secondly, I would like to request the Honorable Minister that if possible, there should be one medical college in Ukhrul. Honorable Prime Minister has announced that every district headquarters should have medical college. I discussed this with Honorable Minister. He had reservation about the availability of the professors. I think he has a valid point, but luckily, Manipur has the highest number of doctors in the entire Northeast after Assam. And luckily, we have 2 medical colleges in Imphal, RIMS and JNIMS. So every 5 years, I believe we produce lots of professors, a good number of professors. And also there are many Manipuri professors within the country and even outside the country. So now we have for the first time a medical college outside Imphal, that is in Churachandpur. I feel that the third one should go to Ukhrul. Langtang village has offered more than 100 acres of land for the medical college. It is located about between 6 to 8 kilometers only from Ukhrul district headquarters, located right on the National Highway 202. So I would like to request the Honorable Minister Medical to consider having the next medical college in Ukhrul. Secondly, the nursing school in Ukhrul was probably decided sometime in 2011, and sometime in 2012, the state government has already paid off a sum of rupees 54 lakh for purchase of land. but it is yet to take off the ground. So I would like to urge the Honorable Minister to start the work for the nursing college, because in the entire Ukhrul, there is no nursing college. When I was Secretary NEC, the state government proposed for a nursing college, and that nursing college is also coming up, but that is entirely, I think, private. So we need another nursing college, which we have already purchased the land. There is so much demand for nurses, because without the paramedic nurses, as I mentioned earlier, doctors are handicapped. And there are demand for Manipuri nurses. I am told even in Japan, Singapore, there's heavy demand. So why don't we have more nursing colleges, if possible, in all the district headquarters? Because imparting skill and competence is something I strongly believe. A skilled person in something, a competent person, is always a useful citizen, and they will never indulge in substance abuse. These are my belief, and I would like to place a few things to the Honorable Minister Medical, that he should consider some of these humble suggestions. Now, coming to demand number 14, Tribal Affairs and Hills. TA and Hills is one department entrusted with one of the most important responsibility. TA and Hills, they are entrusted with the primary schools in the entire Manipur Hills. Primary school is where we make our foundation of our character and education. Unless we impart good education during primary school, there is no way we can make up in the high school or college. Unfortunately, the primary schools in Ukhrul, most of the schools are without teachers. In my last visit, or the previous visit in Ukhrul, from 10 to 12 May, I make a tour of all the district level offices. When I landed in ADC, Autonomous District Council, it was reported to me that the sanctioned posts of primary school teacher were 948, against which there are only 757. Thereby, 191 posts are lying vacant. As a result, there are as many as 43 primary schools having less than 4 teachers. There are 14 schools, primary schools, having less than 3 teachers. And the following 4 primary schools have only 1 teacher each. Langtang Primary School, Litang Sarekong Primary School, Pungpa Khulen Primary School, Skip Primary School. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, with all sincerity and sense of sadness, I must tell you, unless we provide teachers, we are destroying a generation. As per the Right to Education Act, a primary school should have minimum 7 teachers. Kindergarten, 2 rooms, class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, without giving minimum 7 teachers, how can we impart the quality education? As I mentioned earlier, primary school is the foundation where we laid our character and education. So without these teachers, we are in a way destroying a generation. So it is my humble suggestion that recruitment of these teachers must take place at the earliest. I would like to humbly request the Honorable Chief Minister, the Leader of the House. I think in Manipur there is an unwritten understanding. Recruitment of teachers cannot be postponed, because we cannot ask children to postpone their growing up. Recruitment of nurses, doctors cannot be postponed, because sick people cannot be asked to wait for the doctors to be appointed. Thirdly, we cannot compromise with security, so we have to recruit police. So I think the three department, the sector, I would like to urge the Honorable Chief Minister, Leader of the House, that more teachers may be recruited. Otherwise, I would like to reiterate that we are, in a way, destroying a generation. Think of our children who are in the school without teacher. So let us recruit more teachers. At least let us not compromise with the postponed recruitment of teachers, nurses, doctors, and maybe even police. So these are a few of my submissions. Secondly, I would like to humbly suggest to the Honorable Minister, TA and Hills, that he must keep up that roofing materials for the poorest of the poor. Over the years, I have noticed supply of CGI sheet to the poorest of the poor is the flagship program of TA and Hills. This is appreciated by one and all. In this age, when there are no more forests, even thatch is not available in the forest now. So as I mentioned the other day, when we were kids, the basic need of human, roti, kapra, makan, without a shelter, how we can really show our face to the poor people. So I'm really encouraged to hear Honorable Minister Pu Letpao Haukip. He said that this time around, he is going to supply Taina roofing, which I must say he has done a very good thing. Let us keep up this supply of roofing materials. Secondly, I have another suggestion to Honorable Minister T.N. Hills that let him also take up IVR in the village road. Because yesterday we have heard discussed so much about PWD. PWD is mainly concerned about state highway, major district road, and other district road. They have no budget for IVR, and probably they are not going to take up. Another solution we thought was the PMJSY, but our Honorable Minister, Mr. Khemchan, will support. PMJSY has certain guideline. They cannot construct a road less than 4 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken. They cannot construct a road where the village population is less than 250, as per the census 2011. So how about the villages whose population is below 250, whose village road is below 4 kilometers? So here, I would like to suggest that TA and Hills may take up a few IVR where PW road is not possible, where PMJSY road is not possible. These are a few of my general observations. Now, finally, I would like to come to my observation that when I visited this ATC office in Ukhrul, they are housed in a very humble Assam-type house. ATC ought to have a slightly bigger or more dignified office, because ATC is, after all, they are truly the local self-government. We always talk about delegation of power, decentralization of power. Here, the district councillors, they are sitting in a very shabby Assam-type house. They were offered the old mini secretariat, and the renovation work started in 2012 by MDTC. Since 2012, till now, it is not complete. So, Honorable Minister may kindly look into it. If possible, let them complete. Please suitably advise MDTC to complete the renovation or the reconstruction, and let the ADC member, the officers, the teachers may also be given, suitable office where it is ideal for working. These are a few of my general observations. I must say thank you to Honorable Speaker. I'm deeply grateful to you for giving me this time and opportunity. Thank you.